You have probably seen claims all over the internet that prostate massage is some miracle cure for enlarged prostate. But it's dead wrong. In this video, I will break down why the prostate massage is a waste of time for treatment of enlarged prostate and show you what actually works to treat it, backed by a real medical research. Enlarged prostate is a condition where the prostate is larger than normal and causes multiple symptoms such as frequent urination, difficulty urinating, feeling of incomplete bladder emptying, as well as pain. Prostate enlargement is caused by age-related changes, most commonly benign prostatic hypertrophy, as well as prostatitis, infection, inflammation, or sometimes even prostate cancer. People often resort to prostate massage without realizing that it's not just a waste of time and wouldn't reduce their enlarged prostate. It can be harmful in certain conditions. It's particularly dangerous if you have an acute inflammation or purulent prostatitis, also called an acute bacterial prostatitis. There have actually been numerous cases where patients with purulent prostatitis received a prostate massage, resulting in a surgical removal of both testicles because the infection spread downwards, leading to that purulent epididymitis. When performing prostate massage during purulent prostatitis, pus and bacteria can enter the bloodstream and cause sepsis, the blood poisoning. That's why prostate massage is absolutely contraindicated in this condition. Now, prostate massage is also forbidden if you have prostate cancer. Why? Well, in best case scenario, you're just wasting your valuable time on ineffective treatment. And I think everyone knows by now that the earlier cancer is detected and properly treated, the higher the chances of recovery. And in the worst case scenario, during the massage, there's an increased risk of damaging the cancerogenic tissue, as they're just more prone to and more susceptible to injury. There's even a theoretical risk that the mechanical pressure during the massage could lead to the dissemination or spread of cancer cells into surrounding tissue. You may ask me, but what about benign prostatic hypertrophy, BPH, the most common cause of prostate enlargement? Are you saying that even then massage wouldn't help? I will tell you no, it wouldn't help. You only waste money and time on ineffective procedure. This prostate enlargement is not caused by swelling, but by actual cells overgrowth, hyperplasia. Therefore, you cannot reverse this growth through the prostate massage. There are even documented cases of complications after the massage, such as development of acute prostatitis and worsening of BPH symptoms after this massage. Furthermore, no quality clinical studies are confirming the safety and effectiveness of the prostate massage for benign prostatic hypertrophy. A medical study was conducted comparing two treatments for chronic prostatitis, antibiotics alone versus antibiotics plus prostate massage. 81 men were divided into two groups. The massage group followed this particular protocol. 3 times per week for 4 weeks. The technique included 6 massages involved on each side of the prostate. Now, the results showed that the prostate massage provided no additional benefits over the antibiotic treatment alone. Therefore, this method has largely been abandoned as a treatment approach for treatment of the prostate problems. So prostate massage, of course, when performed correctly, can only be used in cases where there's a prostate congestion or as like preventative measures, but not really as a treatment. So if this method doesn't work, what treatment can help? First, you need to understand that an enlarged prostate doesn't always mean that you need an immediate surgery or even medication. If you're not experiencing any symptoms, you can simply monitor this condition with your doctor and take natural preventative products that will help to maintain your prostate health. So what can you take? First of all, pumpkin seeds or pumpkin seed oil, about 10 grams a day. The second method was actually used by Aborigines for hundreds of years for treatment of prostatitis, and modern research has confirmed its efficacy. It's an African plum bark extract. The third product is saw palmetto extract. It helps to improve the bladder emptying and fights inflammation. It's actually even included in medical suppositories. The fourth product is lycopene. It's found in tomatoes and also helps to prevent prostate enlargement. These natural remedies don't just reduce inflammation. They improve the blood circulation and they help to balance hormones, which actually slows down and sometimes even stops the progression of the prostate problems. If you are looking for a simple solution in the form of natural supplement, I personally recommend Prostate Health Formula by Da Vinci Lab. I use it myself, recommend it to my patients. All ingredients are combined in right proportions in the supplement, and you only need to take 1 tablet daily for your prostate health. To make it easy for you, I have included the link for this great supplement in the video description. But what should you do if you already have symptoms? First, you need to remember, the prostate size alone is not a criterion for surgery or any other intervention. So, what is the criterion? It's your symptoms. I would say the first key indicator is the amount of residual urine in your bladder. This can easily be measured through ultrasound. The patient urinates, after which the examination is performed. If more than 50 milliliters of urine remains, that causes a concern, and if reading is 100 to 150 mLs, it indicates a serious outflow problems. The second indicator is a poor urination quality. There's a simple test called uroflowmetry. Essentially, it's an electronic toilet that measures your urine flow. If the doctor suggests you need a surgery without measuring your urine flow, you may want to consider seeking a second opinion with a different specialist. Why is it so important? Well, because prostate size doesn't always determine symptom severity. Sometimes a small prostate can severely obstruct urination due to the middle lobe growth pressing into urethra. Conversely, the prostate can be significantly enlarged but grow in such a way that the person experiences little discomfort and maintains a very good urine stream. In such cases, if the patient is, for example, 75 years old, they might not need surgery during their lifetime. If you begin experiencing the symptoms I listed above medical treatments in the first line of therapy, remember, surgery is only performed when there's no other alternatives. Let's start with the simplest approach, such as anti-inflammatory therapy. I'm not going to name specific medications since they have different names in different countries. To reduce inflammation, often rectal suppositories are used as well. There are now many effective suppositories based on natural components, various herbs, as well as extracts. They often work very well in reducing swelling as well as inflammation. However, you need to understand that these solutions only treat symptoms. It doesn't really reduce the enlarged prostate. Now, let's discuss more serious medications, those that can actually reduce the prostate size. These are called 5-alpha reductase inhibitors. They work at the hormonal level, essentially turning off the effect of certain hormones in the prostate tissue. These medications often prescribed when the surgery is not possible for some reason. For example, recent heart attack or stroke, or when age makes surgery too risky. But this one crucial point you need to understand. These medications reduce PSA levels, a cancer marker, by about half. If the doctor or patient doesn't know this, they may miss development of cancer. Therefore, if you're taking these medications, your actual PSA needs to be multiplied by 2. Now, a separate major group of medications is alpha blockers. They help to make urination easier when the prostate is too enlarged. It's important to know that these medications have a very specific side effects, common side effects. They can change the direction of ejaculation. The semen goes into the bladder. And if you have the side effects, you should also know that everything returns to normal once you stop taking this medication, so self-resolving. Some of these drugs can lower the blood pressure, which also needs to be considered and monitored. Now, here's something important to know. You should not be taking these medications for years without monitoring. There has been cases where patients took this medication for 10 to 15 years, during which prostate grew enormously. But they didn't know that until they completely lost the ability to urinate and required an emergency surgery. Another group of medications are PDE5 inhibitors. They can also help with prostate problems. Yes, in many cases, they're typically used for improvement of erection. They can be a part of comprehensive treatment plan as well. The main point I want to convey is this. Whatever treatment you choose, you need to regularly monitor your prostate size as well as PSA levels. Remember, most medications only relieve symptoms, and only the 5-alpha reductase inhibitor actually reduces prostate size. Now let's talk about the invasive treatment methods. There are minimally invasive options and surgeries available. The first minimally invasive method is UroLift. This method doesn't remove the enlarged prostate, but instead it lifts and compresses the tissue. It uses the anchor in a suture to create a wider opening that allows for easier urination. It's usually recommended for prostate between 30 to 80 grams. Reported research results for UroLift shows an improvement of about 36 to 52% over the 5-year period. 30.5% of patients are required for repeated treatment after about 5 years. The side effects, they may include pain during urination, blood in the urine, pretty common, blood in the semen as well, increased urination frequency, especially in the beginning, as well as difficulty urinating after the catheter removed. That's very common as well. Occasionally, it can also decrease an ejaculate volume. However, it has two significant advantages: no ejaculation problems and no erectile dysfunction. This is big. The second minimally invasive procedure is convective water vapor therapy. During this procedure, a sterile water vapor is directed into the prostate tissue, causing the prostate cells to die off. This procedure is very localized and it doesn't damage any surrounding tissue, which preserves the bladder neck, sphincter, and those important nerve endings that are responsible for erection. Therefore, it also doesn't affect your erectile function. Research results shows improvement of 44 to 48% over the 5 years, and about 4% of patients require repeated surgical treatment. And side effects are very similar to the UroLift. Regarding surgery, I always say it's absolutely the last resort. Only if all previous methods haven't helped. Always approach this decision wisely and choose the best surgeon you can find. To avoid getting to the point where you need the surgery, you need to focus on prevention. And in my opinion, the best method, as I mentioned above, is the right supplementation. If you would like to learn more about the Prostate Health Formula by Da Vinci Lab, watch this video to see why I personally take it daily. Best of luck.